We are live. If you're just joining us, fantastic. If you're watching the replay, remember to share and give some hearts. Thanks for joining, by the way. And it's okay, man. It's okay to give hearts. It's okay to share the love. It's okay to be like that, man. It just basically shows that you're more than just lurking on our scopes. It just shows that you care and you like and you enjoy the content. So I'm gonna go ahead and let people roll on in here. Wait a little bit. What's up? What's up? For those that know me, I'm at the restaurant right now. It's been a rainy day, a rainy morning. A talking mug, yeah. You want to see the real talk? This is the real talking mug. What's up, guys? How you guys doing, man? Hope you guys are having a good day, a fantastic day, wherever you're at in the world. Just wanted to have a quick Periscope with you guys and kind of get you set up. And everything, you know, the thing about Periscope is just like I get to take you on my journey, and you get to see things through my lens, and then also see things through my mind, because I like to share them. Every time I watch you at the restaurant, yeah, I'm here quite a bit, and you actually probably just happened to catch me at the restaurant. I'm not always here though, but the ones you happen to catch, yeah, you're catching me at the restaurant. I was just in Roseville yesterday. Much better. Awesome, man. Good to hear. I know I had some issues on the earlier one with connections. So whatever happened, I don't even know what happened. I didn't even move a spot. K with the Karl, exactly. People, that's how I introduce myself a lot of times, is I'm Karl with a K. It's very easy. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's KarlSchuckert. I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in multiple streams of income. I specialize in online and offline marketing. I'm a software developer. I've got a background in sales. What's up? Yeah, man, thanks for hitting me up from Reno. You're not too far. I'm actually pretty much from Reno. I wasn't born there, but lived there my whole life. Went to Hug High. Do you have a chance to check out Born Letters? I haven't yet, but it did dawn to me who Gary was, and he's the copywriter. He's the famous copywriter. I can't think of his name right now, but I definitely still want to check that out. And I do know who he is, and I was on his list at one time, and he did something where he sends you like a digital penny or something like that. Yeah, Gary Halbert, exactly. So yeah, I know exactly who that is. I just at the time I wasn't thinking about digital marketing or sales copy. I was actually just thinking about sales books and stuff like that. John Carlton, yeah, that's another big one, another legend, absolutely. So it looks like most of you guys that are on here, you guys pretty much know me, and I definitely appreciate the hearts and I appreciate the comments. So what I want to do today is just have you guys open up some questions, and I want to be very vulnerable and give you guys what has worked, what hasn't worked. You know, just shoot the shit with you guys for a minute while I had a few minutes in between my break here, and just talk to you. So tell us something about what you don't know. We don't know about you. Tell us something we don't know about you. Tell you something you don't know about me. Do you know that I like to snowboard? I don't know how to say that, because I'm pretty much an open book on Periscope and in real life. But I like to snowboard. I like to get on the boats. I like to jet ski. I like spending time with my family. Hey, what's up? What's up, Raj? How you doing, man? So that's something I don't know if you guys know about me. I like the rain. I'm out here in the rain, but I've got something covered up. But I love the smell of rain. I don't know if that's something you didn't know about me. But my background. Are you a good dancer? Yeah, I'm a good dancer, man. I can cut a rug. It's been a while since I've danced, so I look like the goofy white guy that tries to dance, but I actually have some moves. And when I was a kid, here's something you probably didn't know about me. I got a story for you. It finally came up. So when I was a kid, single parents, and my grandma and my aunt lived in LA, okay? I love the rain. Well, if you get too much of it, it's easy to get sick of, but we haven't been getting any, so. But my family, my aunt and my grandma lived in Los Angeles and West Hollywood, and my aunt was a childhood actress, and every single summer I would go down there for at least a month, from a month to 3 months, every single year. And as we were kids growing up, my grandma was actually a big inspiration in my life. So I guess we have one of a million chances here too. 1 million hearts, and Karl will show us his moves. Perfect, man. You guys want me to dance on Periscope? Get me to 1,000,000 hearts and I'll do it. I'll show you that I can cut a rug, and I'll go off, man. I'll show you all my old 1985 Running Man and Kid and Play and all that stuff. We'll go back. We'll go back to some old school. So anyway, in LA, growing up with my... Do we get to pick the song? Yeah, I don't care. You can pick the song. You're stuck. I'm not stuck. Just answering questions. So I've got my... I can do the robot. Well, you got to get me to 1,000,000 hearts and I'll do the robot for sure. I know how to do the robot. I can moonwalk too. Bet you didn't know that. So, and this all links into the story, by the way, that I'm getting into. My family, my grandma and my aunt, they lived in West Hollywood. They lived in apartments. My aunt was a childhood actress. She's done a lot of little stuff. Oh yeah, totally. I'm not even stuck. I'll enjoy it. I'll have fun. Why not? Let's get 1,000,000 hearts. Let's do it. You guys are all on board. Sounding like Chris. Yeah. Well, you got to follow. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with following greatness. If you want to be great, find a mentor and follow greatness. That's what I believe in. Hey, what's up, Darcy? What's up, Darcy? So, anyways, I'm getting into my story. You guys are sidetracking me. Let me get into the story, and then I'll answer any of the other questions that come up. So, what used to go to LA? Are you also an internet marketer? Yeah, I'm an internet marketer. I've got a lot of internet products. I'm a digital marketer. That's not a bad thing. No, nothing's a bad thing. Everything is perception. Life is perception. If you're not loving what you do, then that's probably the way you're perceiving it, or you need to change things. Site nowdriven.com, finalexpenseprogram.com, globalripplemarketing.com. Actually, I'll tell you a really good one to go to. It's called winatlife.us. Winatlife.us if you want to know where to go. I'll give you a free productivity ebook that I wrote. Yeah, it's not Slap It Now anymore, Darcy. Chris made fun of me, so I had to change it. Now it's winatlife.us. Right on, man. Thanks for following me. Swipe over and share too. I'm gonna go into a life story. Get to the nuggets. Darcy is impatient. How about buy buttons? How many do you have out there? Probably like 3. I don't have that many out there. I'm pretty new to the internet marketing world. I'm about 3 years into it. I'm longer into it as far as how long I've been on the internet with my company, like my insurance company, my insurance brokerage firm. That's one of my income funnels. I was one of the first insurance brokerages online, and because of that, we had a huge success, multi-million-dollar company. So I mean, in production every year, not in what we take home, but in production, in sales. So definitely been on the internet for a lot long, and I've been watching all the greats for, I don't know, 10 years now. And I've been in sales all my life, and 15 years I took it at a professional level. 7 years ago I became a sales trainer and coach, and then 2.5, 3 years ago I actually produced and brought on my first product, which was finalexpenseprogram.com, where we teach insurance agents the art of sales, and we have a full turnkey system. So yeah, well, we'll still keep Slap It Now, but dude, Chris is the one that called me out on it, so I had to change it. I don't think he likes the new one either, though. I actually have a really cool one that I'm bidding on, so if I win it, then I'll be on that one. You guys you'll get another one that'll come out. So let me get to my story. Let me continue on my story, guys. Yeah, I got a bid on a really cool domain name. I don't want to tell you guys, because I don't want to be in competition with you guys. What's up, John? Thanks for joining. He's just jealous he didn't claim it first. Maybe. Hey, you know, Slap It Now is actually pretty catchy. When he asked everybody, everybody said they liked it, and then it went to like the perverted like negative thing or whatever. It's not negative, but just it went into like this perversion thing. So that's I think that's where people, but at the same time it makes you laugh. It's funny, it's catchy, it's funny, it makes you laugh, makes you think. So that's why I did it, because you won't forget slapitnow.com. Like if you Slap It Mac It, yeah, you don't forget it. You just don't forget. It's one of those things you're not going to forget. You might forget to do it at the moment, but later on you'll be like, Slap It Now, what's that? Slap It, I better go check this out, Slap It Now. But then when you go there, you see the buy button is actually, or the call to action is actually says Slap It Now right on it. I should put a little hand that says like Slap It Now. Yeah, so anyways, guys, let me get into my story. I forget it now. No, I'm just kidding. It's my life. I know my story. So I used to go to LA, and if you could just imagine hanging out with a bunch of kids and, oh, hey, what's up, babe?
Hey.
So if you guys could imagine hanging out with a bunch of like up and coming Hollywood stars in LA, I used to hang out with quite a bit. I don't really need to go into names, but just cool people, and watched a lot of them go through a lot of stuff growing up, because every single summer I would go there, and my aunt would go to these private schools where they all went. And so the first memory I have, so just picture this. First memory I have is my grandma.
Hi, Darcy.
Wants to inspire dreams into both her, into me and my aunt. So instead of hiring a babysitter, this was back when Disneyland used to be able to pull up to the front gates. You can't do that anymore. You used to be able to pull right up to the front gates, and we were such small kids, we could fit through the
oh, thank you, Darcy.
thanks for the hearts. We could fit through the gates where nobody could see. And I know this is kind of crazy, like, you know, it's breaking the law, but think about it. As kids, getting to run in Disneyland on a daily basis for like a month straight, could you imagine the imagination I would pick up and then I would come back to Reno. See you after the relationship scope.
Awesome.
So if you can imagine, that was one of the things that happened when we were there. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, the matter. Okay. So, I mean, all we would do is hang out at Disneyland instead of going and having a babysitter watch us. Now, the other thing that my grandma would do is she would make us go to acting school. She wouldn't make us. We enjoyed it. She'd have us go to acting school. I had a manager. I had an agent. My aunt had a manager. My aunt had an agent. She would have us go to dancing school, improvisation school, and all these little tiny little skills as kids that you could actually instill and have your kids do that actually help you with life. These are like life skills that you could use for the rest of your life. But we don't know that. At that time, it was about passion. It was about my aunt. She was the one that was going to be the star. So me, it was just, okay, bye. Everybody says bye.
Bye. I will love you.
So every time we would go there, I would go to dance class. And one of my dance classes that sticks out the most to me is, do you guys remember the band Belle Biv DeVoe? Do you guys, anybody there remember the band Belle Biv DeVoe? Great experiences, yeah. So if you guys remember Belle Biv DeVoe from the 80s, heck yeah. So these two guys, I don't remember which two they were, it was a long time ago, but two of the guys that were in the band were actually the dance instructors. They were like guest star dance instructors. And so we would play like MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice, and we would just like do all these like crazy dance moves. I learned how to do like the Kid and Play, the Running Man, the Tootsie Roll. I mean, like all this crazy like hip hop dance I would do. I didn't do all the other stuff. My aunt had like tutors. She had piano tutors. She had like so much. Yeah, I had Hammer Pants too, man. I had Hammer Pants, and I had Vanilla Ice like shirt, and I had lines in my hair, and I had like the front of my tips bleached. So if you want to say taking it all the way and owning it, I was owning it. Still got some, John. Dude, you should wear them next time we go out. Kid and Play were awesome. Party House, yeah. So I went to a concert one time when I was down there and watched Kid and Play in concert, and I went there with David Faustino and Tobey Maguire. And this was before, this was during Bud Bundy years, so David Faustino was huge, but Tobey Maguire was like, he was unknown then. Nobody knew who he was. But those two guys are like best friends. Not a lot of people know that, but they're really tight. So we all went together, me, my aunt, and those two went together to a concert, and we went and we saw Kid and Play. They were the opening act. Ice Cube was there. Digital Underground. This was Digital Underground back in the day when it was Digital Underground with Tupac. But Tupac wasn't Tupac then. He was just a guy that was humping plastic girls on the stage and dancing and stuff like that. And then it followed up with Public Enemy. Public Enemy was the #1 band back then, and it was sick, man. I mean, could you imagine when you're 13 years old, you get to go with a couple of stars, yeah, Superman or Spider-Man, yeah. You get to go with a couple of stars and have it like you don't even know what you're doing. Like I didn't know what I was doing, but that was a little highlight at 13 years old. That was a little highlight in my life. Of course, when I came back to Reno, back to reality, I'd tell people and they thought I was crazy. They were like, you didn't do that. But it's true. That's just one of those things that would happen because my aunt had put herself out there enough and in the places that she was willing to go for. She was willing to do almost whatever it takes. She literally was almost willing to do whatever it takes. But that was some great memories. Yeah, absolutely great memories. And the funny thing is, like, that someone asked me if I wanted to dance. So we've got a heart, if we can get KarlSchuckert, myself, to 1,000,000 heart challenge. We're gonna do 1,000,000 hearts. If we can get there, then I will do a crazy dance from the 80s. I might even dress up in the 80s. Yeah, no kidding. I really wish we had that stuff back then, and we had pictures and stuff like that. I really wish we would have had phones like we do today back then, because that would have been like, dude, check it out. Oh yeah, I didn't do it. Here you go. Check it out. You know. So I've had like lots of weird things like that in my life happen. I've met quite a few celebrities in my life, and hung out with a few of them here and there. And it's just, you know, it's just been because I put myself out there. But other than that, though, look, this is a scope, guys, where I said we can go on a rampage. We can talk about business, or we can talk about stories. We can do whatever you want. You guys had to draw pictures, Kirk. You guys had to draw. You guys barely had a pencil, and you had to draw. Been in the movies, yeah. I've been in a couple of movies myself. I've done some P or C rated commercials in my life. I've done some stuff. I haven't done anything like, you know, crazy, extravagant. I've never been like a main role. I did a big play in LA once. I was in a play, and I was also in a play in Reno once. I played Ebenezer Scrooge once in a play. So I've done a little bit of acting, but I don't really call back into acting much. It's just not my calling. I'm not that good of an actor. Let's see here. 3C, what's up? Yeah, I don't know. John, you gonna go to 3C? We know a few people here that are, but John, you should go. You should definitely go if you can. Is that back when you used to get paid for commercials for every time they aired? I don't know how you get paid today, so I have no idea. But back then, when I did my commercials, I got paid one time. It was like $500. I did a national picture, like a modeling picture for Chevy trucks, where I was in. When the Chevy Colorado came out, I was actually one of the pictures. We don't have the whole list yet, John, but it'll be out soon. We actually have, it was a picture that went nationwide for Chevy trucks. For the first year that the Chevy Colorado came out, I'm actually in there. I'm in the booklet, so it went, you know, global. But that's like some of the biggest things I did. I was in the movie The Cooler. I don't know if you guys seen that movie, but it's a pretty cool movie. William H. Macy's in it. Alec Baldwin's in it. But my part is super small. Other than that, though, I haven't really done too much. I did some late night commercials. It was about it. It's not my thing, though. Not really into it too much, you know? It's a poster in my shop. Awesome. It's a good movie for sure. It's a good movie. It's slow. It's kind of slow, but I like those kind of movies. I like those casino gangster movies too, you know? So we can get into business, or we can keep talking about this. What is your thing? Well, I said earlier, snowboarding is one of my biggest passions. In fact, today I have to go get my pass because I've got to do. It's raining. Everybody's talking about it being like the biggest El Nino ever. 20-year storm talk. Who knows? It's always hearsay, whatever. But hopefully it comes out, and if it does come, I'll be prepared. I got 2 boards now. I've got a board that I ride for the spring. I've got a powder board it's a super sick powder. It's called a powder pillow or something like that. It's just this big board. I rode it once and it felt like riding a Cadillac of snowboards. But I try to get good gear. You know, I'm really into having good gear and stuff like that. So that's really what I'm into. That I'm fun. If not, other than that, though, I'm really starting to get into trying to find out what my daughter's into, and then I want to inspire anything that she wants to do, and I want to show her that she can be anything in her life. So that's a big thing that's important to me right now. Other than that, though, you know, business-wise, I've got a couple of things on the books that I've been working on. Dude, I would be down to do both, maybe this winter, because you got to take a break. If we have a big, crazy, epic winter, there's points where you kind of like in the middle of it, you're just like, well, I could take a break from this. But the best thing about snowboarding, though, is that it's very fun, and you have to be in good condition. You have to be in a good shape to do it. and it puts you in good shape if you haven't been doing it for a while. But once you get into good shape, it's like, for me, it's like flying like an eagle. It's just a sense of freedom and letting go of everything to do it. You have to let go of whatever's going on around you. You have to let it go in order to do it. So it's really, for me, it's about living in the now whenever I do that. Whenever I go snowboarding, it's about living in the now, because I could lose control and fly off a cliff and kill myself. I could go off a jump and break a leg. I've had 5 broken legs in my life, so I definitely don't want to continue to do that. I used to race motocross on a semi-pro level, and I broke 3 of them motocross, 1 of them snowboarding, and 1 of them on a trampoline. So I've had my share, and you know, I know that if you get crazy, you break yourself, and then you're done. You're done for the winter or for the season, or you could, even worse yet, you could break your neck. Best thing about snowboarding is snowboarding. Best thing about snowboarding is the freedom that you feel, that you get from it. The best thing about snowboarding is the experience. And the other best thing about it is that progression. You progressively get better the more you do it. And that's what keeps you hooked. I think that's what keeps you hooked. There's a time, like I used to ski and I got bored at a certain point because I became really, really good. But it's just because I lived up here. I lived up here and I was blessed enough to be able to snowboard and ski and do all the stuff that I found as an enjoyment. And I'll probably go back to skiing one day. Who knows? Never been snowboarding on fresh powder before. Yeah, that's the best, but it's harder. Snowboarding on fresh powder is the absolute best. It's the absolute best. I mean, it's the source. But it's way harder to snowboard on powder, so it takes a while to learn. The best way to learn is to go somewhere where there's a lot of powder and that you can get days and days of turns in, and then when you get it, you're just like opened up to it. It's almost like a complete reverse of snowboarding. Usually on snowboarding, you're on the front leg and you have most of your weight on your front leg and you're turning with your back. But powder, it's the other way. You're putting more weight on your back and you're turning with your front. So it's a little bit reverse, and you know, it's reverse the way it works. Yeah, I would say that would be the worst way to go the first time, is night skiing. The only reason why I say that is because at night everything gets iced up, and if you don't have you don't have good edges and you're new and you don't know how to use your edges, that's probably wasn't a very good experience, if I were to guess, John, as your first experience skiing. But anyways, what do you guys want to talk about business? What direction do you guys want to take this? I heard Kirk said, let's talk about business. We can talk about business. I can tell I've already lost a couple of people on the scope, so I just want to know what direction. I've got lots of hearts going, which is awesome. You guys share. Let's get a few more people on here and let's talk about business. You guys want me to drop some nuggets? I'm all about it. You thought the bunny hill was hilarious? Did you ride the bunny hill? Hey, the bunny hill is where you start. Actually, the bunny hill is scary for new people. Thanks, Kirk. Thanks, John. So we can talk about business, man. That bunny hill is harder. Yeah, man, the snow on snowboarding, the flatter it is, the harder it is. The faster you go, the easier it is. Speed is your friend in snowboarding. When you're 11, I'm sure you're just like bombing it. But if it was your first time and it was night skiing, I don't know. Sometimes when you bomb it, you kind of like run into things like trees and fences and stuff like that. You don't know how to stop. So I enjoy talking about snowboarding. We can keep talking about snowboarding. You guys, whoever here snowboards, you guys follow Travis Rice? That guy's off the hook. When you're 11, you have no fear. Yeah, fear's a choice too. I mean, when you're older, you have fear. My fear now is like if I re-break myself. So I definitely have a fear of that, but I gotta let it go and go for it. Still have to let it go and have fun and go for it. The best thing I can do for myself is to make sure I start training and getting into shape, because that's when you get hurt. That's when you cramp up, pull ligaments, pull muscles, break stuff possibly because of your weight, whatever. So I have to really work on getting myself conditioned. So who are you? New? Yeah, we got some new people joining. Do you guys know who I am that are new? And go ahead and swipe over, share, heart. I'm an entrepreneur. I live up in South Lake Tahoe. I'm at the family business right now. We own a restaurant. This is just one of many income streams that we do. I believe in multiple income streams. What's up, guys? New people. And I'm an online and offline marketer. My background is in sales. 15 years ago, I took it up to a professional level, and then after that, like 7 years ago or so, I started becoming a trainer and a coach, and I've literally coached thousands of people in sales. So I mean, we could talk about sales, we can talk about overcoming adversity, we could talk about business. Chantel works with me. Awesome. Awesome, Chantel. Thanks for joining and paying attention and being part of John's scopes and now mine. Any tips for someone who is new to entrepreneurship? Yes, absolutely. Tons of tips, tons and tons of tips. So there's two methods that I like to teach about when it comes to entrepreneurship. Okay, you have things that you're passionate about, and you have things that you're not passionate about. Okay, some things that you're not passionate about might be something that you do and you're really good at it and you know that it'll make you money, and some things that you're passionate about but you're not sure how to monetize, but it's something you wish you could do. So as an entrepreneur and as someone that I believe in multiple streams of income, I say first you got to take care of yourself and you have to build income. You have to build money so you can invest into your passion and so you can learn how to make it profitable. So two things, right? You gotta, and it's a balance. And for the people that are very, very special are the ones that can actually harness what they're passionate about and they can monetize it. But it doesn't happen for everybody. So as a new entrepreneur, keep that in mind. So if you have something that you're passionate about, go ahead and start doing it, but you have to make money. What's up? What's up? Hey guys, and it too, you said slapitnow.com. It's now winatlife.us. winatlife.us. I changed it from slapitnow to winatlife.us. So we were just talking about, you know, what direction would a new entrepreneur go? So like okay, I can tell you from my story. Cool. I can tell you from my story what I did when I jumped out into internet marketing a little over 3 years ago. I'd been following a guy named Russell Brunson for years and kind of watched him do like a potato gun and stuff like that. But I was following him because I knew that what he was doing was genius. I knew the way that he was building funnels and marketing was genius. So I wanted to start studying that. So I wanted to learn how to do that and be good at it. And so I started following a lot of the great people that were doing it. And I had the opportunity to go up and meet Russell Brunson up in Boise. And so what I did is I made it happen. Me and Akumi, we packed everything up and we drove up to Boise, and I sat through a whole presentation. I learned about from him, and during that presentation, I learned about the Seinfeld sequence, which is like a sequence of emails. And the Seinfeld sequence is basically a show about nothing. So that's basically what your emails are, but with calls to action. So like if you think of Seinfeld the show, it was like a show about nothing, but you think of your email list as that, because people are like interested in the relationship that you build from that email. They get to know you, they get to like you, they get to trust you, and you serve with free content and information that you know about, and then you sell them on the back end. Because once people know you and they like you and they trust you, they're going to want to buy from you. They're going to want to support your ideas and your thoughts and your needs and stuff like that, because they feel like they're part of the community. They feel like they're part of the tribe. So for me, what I did is I ended up going back to, I went there, met Russell, had to talk with him. I told him I was just trying to figure it out, like what I wanted to do online. And at that moment, yeah, guys, I'm wearing like a funnel shirt too, so I'm like Russell Brunson'd out today. But anyway, and I think he's got a webinar going on right now. But anyways, I went on, after I talked to him, I had my little epiphany. And it's weird because certain people in your life, you got to get yourself around. Even if it's like I only talked to him for maybe, I'm going to say like 5 or 6 minutes, but that's all it took. And that's when like the light bulb came on, because at that point in my life, I'd already had my online business as far as my insurance brokerage went, and I had my agents and everybody that would find me online. But at that point, that was where like the little droplet that happened and everything came out, was I decided for me to get good at the internet business is that I could take what I already know, what I'm already good at, and what I already know, and I could put that online. So instead of me recruiting agents and talking to agents about working for me and why they should work for me, instead I made a whole training platform where I had to build a studio, like a filming studio in my house with a chroma key. We had to learn how to edit videos, we had to write scripts, write out whole production of like a whole training platform. And so for me to do that, it helped me learn how to do it, because the best way to learn is to actually do it. So if you hear something from someone else, then you do it, and then after you do it, then you can teach it. And I think Chris talks a lot about that. It's like learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. That's something he says, and I've heard that from other people too. It's a simplified thing. If you can take anything and simplify it into 3 processes, that's how you can do it, because then you can show other people how to do it. If you can break anything into 3 examples or 3 processes, you can do anything. One of my mentors, he said, I want an executive summary of your business plan. I want an executive summary of your business plan. Yeah, totally. I've been on a lot of training platforms, and I own a lot of them too, so I know. And that was a big part learning thing for me too, is like, you know, there's this thing called shiny object syndrome, where you just buy everything and you just don't even know why you're buying it. You're just buying it, you're buying it. But that's okay, because that's a learning process. That's part of the learning process, is buying all these different things from all these different gurus, because you're learning something from it. You're learning about the sales process that you go through. Like, record yourself. Learn about the sales process and go through it. I have no successful people in my life, but now I have mentors in my pocket. Exactly. That's what Periscope brought to you. Everybody, man. It brought for me. I've got new mentors I didn't even know about. I've got a little 13-year-old kid. Boom. Caleb Maddox, right? Man, I was watching his thing today. It got me super pumped, man. This little kid got me super pumped. I'm like, this little kid's a beast, man. He's talking about getting excited, getting things done and stuff like that. So yeah, so having shiny object syndrome is not a bad thing. It's actually teaching you, but you got to keep your eye open to that. Like, when you're learning about when you're buying something, remind yourself, oh, what am I going through right now? Like, the experience is what is pulling you in, either from pain or pleasure, most likely pain. I think that there are some monsters being created. Yeah, besides pain, you've got, you've got the idea there. Now, most entrepreneurs, 85% of us, we are actually pulled by pleasure. We are pulled by the big picture, like what we would love to have, versus like running away from the pain. I've never been taking a course where I have not learned something. Exactly. So, what's that? Hold on one second. I think it's unlocked. Yeah. So that's the thing, guys, is that buying stuff is not a bad thing. Now, if you don't do anything with them and you just buy them and they just sit there, and it's basically like buying something that you want and then sticking it on a shelf and doing nothing with it, that's retarded. You got to do something with it. So buy the product, watch yourself, record yourself, turn on a video camera and screen capture your page and record your facial expressions and what you're going through when you're going through a sales funnel. If you already are sold on who's providing it for you, or if you're already sold on what it is, then that's the point. That's the point. You need to record yourself. Periscope it, totally, man. Periscope it and see why are you buying. Understand why are you buying that product. It could, and then start asking yourself the questions like, why am I buying this product? Is it because I totally believe in the guy that's selling it, or is it because I totally believe in the product because I could see myself using it in the future, or am I just buying it to buy it because I feel like buying stuff online because it's so easy to click yes, to click buy now. Find out why, guys, because that's the same psychology that's being used in most sales letters and videos, everything, where there are so many teachers to learn from, so many students excel. Yeah, I mean, like that old saying is, where the student appears, the master does, or something like that, or where the master appears, students do, or I don't remember what that saying is, but it's true. And Periscope is just paving the way, guys. That what I love about Periscope, guys, is that this is going to be huge. I mean, me and Chris were talking about like it's a kind of a gamble to think like maybe it's just a fad, but I really don't. I believe that it's not. I honestly believe that Periscope is not a fad. I just think it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're already starting to see when a student is ready, the teacher appears, yeah, or the master. I just think it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why I say you guys need to get yourself out of your comfort zones and start scoping right away. Periscope's still a baby. It's going to be massive. Yeah, you want to jump on these things when you see them, okay? When you see a trend, do you want to get on the back end of it, or do you want to get in the front of it? Doesn't mean that there's not going to be an opportunity in the back of it, but there's definitely an opportunity in the front of it. More of an opportunity in the front of it than there's going to be in the back of it, unless you're a monster and you've already got a huge following. When the student is ready, the master will appear. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. So those of you guys that are new, you can follow me. You can tap hearts right now. You can actually share with your followers. We can continue to rap on this stuff, because this is the stuff that I'm really I'm very passionate about, and this is where I can align my passion again with monetization. And it's something that I like teaching. I've been a student for many years of sales, offline sales copy. I've been a big student of, and so like Dan Kennedy and stuff like that, I followed him for years and years, and that's where I want to take it, guys. I want to actually take you guys along with me in this journey, and hopefully raise a couple of you guys with us, because like me and Chris, we're going to be building a tribe of periscopers. The other day we were at I don't know the name of it, but it was in Roseville. The place looks like a nightclub, but it's a restaurant sort of / club that has internet, super fast internet. And there was another guy, a big time periscope guy that was there. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks. So there was another guy that's actually, he's a beast in the periscope world. Yeah, sorry man, we didn't throw a plane. We were on the balcony. We sat up in the balcony. It was like it looked like a VIP section, but it wasn't. It was just seating. We just took a seat. And here's what happened, guys. Like, some crazy stuff happened. Me, Chris, and Andrew roll in, and we get our seat, and we're like worried that we're in the way of things or whatever. And excuse me, we're in the way of things, but we weren't. And then we're like, what's going on? Are we in the way? And the lady's like, oh no, there's a nonprofit organization downstairs for helping kids that are in foster homes find permanent homes or permanent families to live with. And we're like, oh, that's really cool. And then we walk upstairs, and there's a guy he's probably the second biggest guy in Roseville besides Chris, but the guy's been on Periscope longer, and he's a big guy, he's a monster, and he teaches a lot about how to periscope, what type of equipment to use. He uses like more professional equipment. He's got a very professional following, and so we went in there, we talked to him for a while. We were going to go into his class, but we decided not to, because we were just kind of enjoying where we were at, and we were also talking business. We were just trying to figure out the direction of a couple of things. So we were over across the way from there. And just stuff started happening, right? So the hostess comes to us, and she's like, "Can I help you guys with anything? Is there anything you need?" And so we tell her, or Chris goes, "Hey, I would like to. I'm really big about helping nonprofit organizations, and it sounds like that's a really good one that I wouldn't mind getting behind. Can you ask whoever's over there in charge if they want to do an interview with me, or at least meet me?" He was like, "I have a huge following, and I'd love to introduce them to my following." So within seconds, okay, well, I'd say minutes, two ladies come up. They come upstairs, they introduce themselves, they talk about what it is. Chris puts them on the spot and says, "Hey, I want to periscope about you guys right now. I could probably get, I don't know, from a couple hundred to maybe 1,000 people right now live, and we could talk about your message." And so that's what they did. He put them on the spot. One of them was the CEO, so it was easy to make a decision, and they pumped it out. It was awesome scope. I almost had a tear in my eye listening to some of the stories that they're talking about, some of these kids that are just in a bad spot in their life because of their parents, and they were trying to find homes and stuff like that. They were trying to find homes for good kids, or any kid, and they were talking about like the process that someone has to go through to get qualified to do it. And so it was a very heart-touching thing, and it was actually a really good scope that Chris put together. So that was something that happened. There was some other major epiphanies that happened that day. We did go golfing, and there was some other major stuff that was happening, and then the periscope guy. So it was just weird. Like, you put yourself out there, and like these other positive people start coming towards your way. I'm having Gary and Lisa Prince Sacramento in November. Cool. Yeah, cool. So I mean, everybody has something that they're passionate about, that they get behind. One thing that I've gotten behind is MS Society. I definitely try to help them out a lot, whatever I can do. My great-grandma had MS, and I watched how she struggled, but she did live a long life. And it's just, everybody has different forms of it. And I've met a lot of people that are struggling with it. So that's one of the nonprofits that I get behind. But I'm all about helping out. If I can donate my time, that's what I'm about. If I can donate my time, I do it. And I've helped the homeless shelters in Vegas when I used to live down there. Give them clothing, give them toothbrushes, give them food, give them blankets, stuff like that. Ever thought of starting your own nonprofit? Actually, no, I haven't. I've got a friend that has a nonprofit, and I've actually got two friends. Sorry, I've got two friends that have nonprofits, and it's cool. One of them is like he does shoes and stuff like that for. They build schools and stuff in Kenya, and he also takes like thousands of shoes over there with him. I think it's called Be Kind. And then my other friend has a thing called Keep Smiling Project, and it was for all the refugees in Japan that lost their homes and stuff like that for Fukushima when that nuclear plant went down. Dude, Pat Flynn is awesome. I don't know Pat Flynn personally, but I love what he does. I'm a big follower of Pat Flynn. I love what he does. I love his his podcast, and the way his website is, and his transparency. Like, his transparency is so awesome. Transparency is the biggest thing, guys. I think for people to get to know, like, and trust you, you just have to be transparent. And I think that might be what some people have issues with. You know, they just have issues with being themselves, so they don't get onto Periscope. They just don't do it because they're afraid of what people might think of them. And you shouldn't worry about that stuff. You shouldn't worry about what other people think. You should just think about what you think, or not worry. Don't worry about what you think. Just think about, like, what you can do to make a difference, or how you can impact, or how can you put your fingerprint on things, you know? So anyway, what else do we got? Business-wise, motivational-wise, life-wise, what else do we want to talk about? What do you guys want to know? Hey, while we're waiting for the question, heart bombs on the side, swipe over share, swipe over follow. If you don't know who I am and you're new, my name's KarlSchuckert. I own a company called Global Ripple Marketing. Back to local marketing, sure, we can talk about that. I specialize in online and offline marketing. I've got a sales background for over most of my life, 15 years professionally, 7 years as a coach. Are you in Vegas? No, I'm up in South Lake Tahoe. I used to live in Vegas. I used to live in Henderson for a while. Then I moved over to San Diego for a very short stint, and then moved back to Reno, and then me and my family bought a restaurant up here in South Lake Tahoe called Toast Tahoe, and it's a fantastic restaurant if you ever come up here. We actually have our seafood being delivered right now. If you could have any mentor, dead or alive, who would it be? I don't know, Abraham Lincoln, what's his name? Not Muhammad. Can't really think of his name right now. You know, the guy that was about peace, but he was a big time leader. Martin Luther King would definitely be a mentor I would love to have. Gandhi, yeah, thank you for saying that. Gandhi would be I mean, these are the guys that are dead. That would be huge. I'm on vacation in Vegas right now. Cosmopolitan, awesome. I actually went to the Cosmopolitan a few times. I went to the Cosmo the first time when it opened, and got extremely wasted drunk. And me and my wife went, and we hung out with Carrot Top. And he was wasted drunk. And we got pictures to prove it. Napoleon Hill, yeah, Napoleon Hill would be cool, but I think, like, the people that he interviewed would be even better. Yeah, Lincoln is awesome. So those are actually, like, my heroes. I mean, MLK, Lincoln, and Gandhi. Those three people are absolutely, like, mind-changing type things, and they're all about leadership. Those guys are all about leadership. I'm kind of a leadership junkie myself. I follow John C. Maxwell a lot. I've read most of his stuff, and I've got a couple of his training videos and stuff like that. John C. Maxwell is awesome. You know, and the thing is too, guys, when you find a mentor, you guys aren't always going to see eye to eye. You're not always going to believe in all the same things, but don't lead into that stuff. It's the message, okay? It's the message that they're teaching. Just because there's certain beliefs and things that they do that might be different or go against your own personal grain, that doesn't mean that you can't learn from their message. I've got the Fountain View Suite, Blackstone bought Cosmopolitan. Very cool, man. You should do a scope. You should scope about it right now when we get off here. You should show people your room, since it sounds like a sick room, and then talk about how you got there. Because people want to know your story. So what else do you guys have? What else do you guys have? I can continue. And also, too, winatlife.us. Winatlife.us. I will give you 20 top productivity tips that help me trailblaze and skyrocket my business and my life. Have you read Napoleon Hill's Golden Rules? I have it, but not read it. No, I've only read Think or Grow Rich. It's the only one I've read. Actually, there's one by Clement Stone. What's that one called? I've actually read part of it. If you guys don't know who Clement Stone is, that's an interesting story. He was like 20 years old. He started an insurance company with like $100 that he borrowed from his uncle. I think it was like $20. And then became a I mean, today his value would probably be in the billions. His company is Cornerstone Insurance. They're like a very, very large insurance company. They're very captive, though. So, do you guys know, let's see here, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill is great. Cool. Yeah, W.P. Clement Stone, yeah. So, Clement Stone is a monster. And he was a lot about, like, mental things, mind things. I think scoping is not for me. I tried, have the replays on this suite. Yeah, dude, like, why isn't it for you? Because you don't want to I'm trying to figure out why is not scoping for you. Scoping is good for you just to watch other people. That's fine. I get that. But if you have a message and you want people to get to know, like, and trust you, there's no other platform you can do it. Camera Shy. Yeah, dude. That's the fear of speaking. How about Made in America by Sam Walton? Nope, never read that, but I know who Sam Walton is. Obviously, obviously we know the Walmart story. Yeah, so my message I want to get back to you is get out of your comfort zone, man. Like that's the biggest thing. Even like one of my friends recently did his first scope, and I could tell he was nervous, but he did it. You know, the fact that he just did it, got out of his thing. The best thing you could do is just prepare yourself, because not a lot of people can just get on a Periscope and just start talking about anything. So get yourself prepared. You know, have a topic, have a subject, have headlines, you know, that kind of stuff. Face your fears. The only way to grow is to face your fears. And hey, man, you got an egghead and you're telling someone else to face their fears. No eggheads allowed, right, Kirk? If you're still here, no eggheads. Go back and change your profile picture. Fear is a portal into your best life. I love that. Just so you know, PJs is bad hair. After that, everything is upward and onward. Are you talking about like in the morning? Bad hair in the morning? Just jumping in. Thanks, Joe. What's up, man? I'm new. Cool. You're new. When we get off the scope, or right now, you could stop the scope. You could scroll over, and you can hit edit. You can find where you're at, like your actual profile, and then hit edit, and then you can add your picture. You can take a picture. You can use a picture from somewhere in your phone. Because you know, we don't like eggheads on here. Crack your egg, bro. Crack your egg. I like that saying. Chris Record came up with this stuff, and I like it. It's good stuff. Man, that's a good guy to follow if you guys are new too. Hey, no worries, man. No worries. Make sure to follow so you can get on these, get on the replays, share them up, watch them. Make sure to give hearts. It's all about, we're all growing together. We're all helping each other develop. Okay. When my first scope wasn't that good. I mean, the first one I did was I was being interviewed, but it wasn't that good. When I was in Vegas, dude, that was the first one I did. Was when I was in Vegas hanging out with Charles Fuchs for a minute. He interviewed me, and I was really drunk, so I don't really remember what we talked about. I just remember talking about stacking cash. That's all I remember. Yes, I do. Catch.me/KarlSchuckert. Most of them are there. I don't know what the deal is, but I made a huge mistake on Periscope, and that was I signed in with my phone number. And because of that, for whatever reason, some stuff doesn't get catched into my Twitter account. Sometimes you feel like a pest. No, man, you're just trying to get stuff done. And also, it's Karl with a K. But Kirk, it's Kirk with a K. It's Karl with a K. It's okay. It's okay, man. People will let you know if you're being a pest. Be a pest. Be a pestetarian. Sometimes you have to be, to get things done, to get what you want. And then if you get like to the point where it's annoying, then people will just turn you off. But there's also other ways. There's better ways to do it too. Think about that. There's better ways to get other people's attention. I did the same thing, my phone number. There you go. Spell check, man. Oh, you're talking about my Periscope? Honestly, I didn't even spell it. I just spoke in my phone on my notepad. So if it's a spell check thing, then I spoke on my phone. Sometimes, like when I'm driving down the road, if I don't have any emoticons or anything like that, it's because I'm just saying it. So I don't know, whatever. I have typos. I don't really care. I still have a good message. That's what I know. I know I have a good message. I've taught thousands and thousands of people the art of sales, and I've made other people successful. I've had a lot of great people come to me and tell me that, you know, what they've overcome because of some of the things that I brought to them. And that's self-fulfillment. That's a self-fulfilling thing for me. Right on. Cracked your egg, bro. Welcome. Welcome, TG Solutions Graphic. I take it you do, or Grouponic. I don't know what it says. Thanks, man. Thanks. Do you have a journal? If so, any good tips on writing one? Journals are good. I used to keep a journal a long time ago. I don't do it as nice as John Ferguson does. I saw on one of his scopes that he actually has these nice leather binded journals, and he actually, every single event he goes to, he sits down, it sounds like, and he journals about that, what he's learning and stuff like that, and then he tries to find action plans and stuff like that. I don't really journal so much anymore because I just lose my notes. I don't have a nice, I don't do that. Sorry. I just don't do it. It's just not for me. It's not that it's not for me. It's just, it's hard for me. And I retain a lot of stuff really easily without writing it. But I think that it's really good. I think it's a good thing for people to do. Whenever I'm teaching a class, I always tell them to make sure they're writing down, because I know that if you write things, you read them, like you're seeing it, you're writing it, you're doing it, you're living it, you'll remember it. So I definitely believe in that a lot. But for me, I just don't. You know, it's just been kind of my thing. And for years and years and years and years, I did. And actually, one of my millionaire mentors, that always, one of the biggest guys that's made a big impact in my life, he was really big about mental to physical. Yeah, he was really big about the ring binders. Is always have a ring binder, not the ones that flip over, but the ones that have rings, because you can always go through. Kind of like what John does. John buys these really nice leather books, but you know, so they make them really, I think they make them special for him, and you know, and that's why he teaches that, because he knows that that works really well for him. I first heard about Power of Journal from Jim Rohn. You know, the funny thing about Jim Rohn is, you guys make fun of my typos. Watch a Jim Rohn video. Tell me if you can make any sense of whatever he's writing on a board, and then you tell me if my stuff is bad. Seriously, watch what he writes on a board and see if it's like chicken scratch. But the guy is a monster. The guy was awesome. He's a big reason why Anthony Robbins is who he is today. So, I don't know if you guys knew that, but Anthony Robbins used to work for Jim Rohn many, many years ago. Ha ha ha. You're right, man. So, what else did we got? I think we were talking, I get scatterbrained sometimes because when the things come up, but I'm trying to answer every one that I can. My typos are numerous. Don't care for glamour. Yeah, you know what? I'm not worried about typos. I'm not an editor. I'm a creator. So I come up with ideas, visions, and stuff like that. And then I've hired editors. Like my ebook that I give you, I hired an editor. After I wrote it out, I hired a professional editor to fix all the typos and fix all the grammar, so that way an ebook didn't come out looking like I wrote it. I mean, it looks like I wrote it, but it doesn't look like I wrote it. I've got really bad handwriting too, so that's another reason why I don't necessarily need to do it. But I'm a very visual person, so usually if I see it, I can usually reproduce it pretty quickly. I can learn from it pretty quickly. And then of course I'm learning how to get better at teaching. So that's something that I'm always working on. I try to learn from people about how to become a better teacher. And I think that, you know, some of the background, like NLP, you know, too, and the thing about NLP is that I think that some people misconstrued NLP that don't understand it. Because NLP is not about, it's not about, what do you call it? It's not about making people do something they don't want to do, like forcing people to do stuff. It's not like putting a hand up, you know, tightening someone's hand. Right on, thanks for joining. Yeah, totally understand. I usually keep my phone plugged in, but if you're not by a plug, I understand. So, you know, the thing I'll tell you about NLP is that it's just about communication. It's about being a better communicator. I leave my grammar alone, even though you call it glamour, even though it's grammar. Yeah, just don't even worry about it, John. If your grammar is, you know, if you have typos, who cares? You're not an English teacher. You're a motivational speaker. You're a sales trainer. You know, you teach people how to make money. You teach people how to have a better lifestyle. That to me is more important, but obviously having grammar is important too. It's just not as important. So if that's something that's holding you back, don't let it hold you back. I don't care if my stuff's bad, you know? But anyways, talking about NLP, a lot of people, sometimes people misconstrue it as like hypnosis, or you're like hypnotizing people, but you can't hypnotize free will. You can't. You can plant things and ideas and frame things and stuff like that, like NLP teaches you to do, but you can't make people, you can't do free will. People, you can't change free will. People can change their mind. If you didn't fix their problem with your solution, they'll just cancel down the road. So when people say, like, I've heard some stuff recently that just didn't make sense to me. It was just kind of like garbage, but it didn't make me not believe in the person I was hearing it from. It just made me think about why were they saying it. And there's reasons, right? There's reasons. What they have to stick out in this industry. And NLP has been something that's been talked out for a long time. So one good way to stick out is to say that NLP is not what it is. But I just think it's that either you didn't understand NLP very well. So I just think that some people don't understand it, because it's just like, once you understand how to speak in someone's thinking type, you can just help make more sense to them, so that way they become a buyer. But anybody that's a sales trainer, we all know that it's about influence, it's about persuasion, and it's about getting people to believe in what you're doing. So if you can get people to own it and use it, then you sold them. Or if they can get them to see themselves owning it or using it, then you sold them. It's just like selling a car. A lot of times they want you to do a test drive, because they know that the feeling you're gonna get driving that car versus looking at it or touching it, okay? If you're next to it and you're touching it, like, yeah, it's a car. But once you get inside and you feel it and you experience it, and if it's a convertible, you feel it in your hair. If it's a car that has power, you feel the power. You can see, like, all of a sudden you have these like visualizations about how your friends are going to be like, oh, your car's so cool, I can't wait to check out your car. Or you're strolling in, you know, your new ride, or how it feels, how comfortable it is when you're driving down the road. That's why they want you to do that, because you take ownership of it. You take ownership of it. And it's the same thing with anything that you believe in. You own it. You got to own it. You got to own your life. You got to own the direction you're going. You got to believe in it wholeheartedly. If you don't have the money in your bank, you got to believe that you have the money in your bank. You have to lie to, it's not lying to yourself, it's just pre-saying that this is what I have, because you know that you're going to have it. So anyway, definitely I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for joining Addicted to Success, Becoming an Obsessed, and Drives You 24 Hours. Yeah, when you become addicted to something, you get to the point where you're like, I don't need sleep. I'm going to jump out of bed right away. I don't need to go to bed yet. And also, too, like, you're on the journey, Kirk, right now, because you're still pretty new, is that you're on the journey right now. So in this journey, just make sure you're learning on everything you do. Every time you buy something or whatever, make sure you understand the sales process that's going into it, on why you're buying it. You know, so that's a big message for today. It's a big gold nugget. It's just, I talked about earlier, is just right now when you're new, you get blind, and all you see is offer, and you're just like, which one do I choose? Choose the ones that you believe you will use and that you can get behind in your business, and you know you absolutely need it. Make sure you're not putting it on the shelf somewhere. Make sure the things that you have on the shelf, make sure you dust them off and you start using them. You start listening to these people. Ninja Scope right now. Yeah, make sure you start listening to these people and you start learning exactly how they do it. And even if their message is wrong, just try to, or you don't believe in some of the things they don't believe in and that turns you off, don't overlook that stuff. Learn about why, learn about the actual message, learn about the things that you can pick up from them, and then start to develop the ideas and the stuff that you want to come up with. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bounce off, but I definitely, like I said, I appreciate you guys. I love all the hearts, the sharing, everything you've done. I've got now a 1 million heart challenge. I'm going to do the Running Man, the Kid and Play, the Tootsie Roll. I might even dress up in hammer pants if I can get them. If we can play some 80s hip-hop music, and that'll be my 1 million chance. And I'll have to like practice when we get close. So anyway, hairlines. Shave the hairlines. I'm not going to do that. I could do like a little Vanilla Ice thing. Later, Kirk. We'll see you guys. 1 million heart challenge. Let's do it. All right. Late.